Uh-oh, we're out of ghee. Expect it's time to make some more. So what do we need for this? Well, we need, I've got here 4 pounds of unsalted butter, got to be unsalted. This is from Costco, so just normal stuff, cheapest stuff you can buy. Some containers to put it in, of course, and some cheesecloth to strain it through when you're near the end, to strain out all of the bits. Of course, you need like something like a 4-quart saucepan, something like that to do it in. So anyway, let's get going. So I find it best to just cut the sticks of butter into like 1-inch blocks, something like that, maybe 3/4 inch, so they fit in the pan and they cook evenly. Well, not cook, but they melt down evenly. Ghee is basically, you're going to make is just the fat from the butter. So you're going to separate by making ghee, you separate out all of the milk products, all of the whey from it, and get it down to pure unadulterated fat. And the fat is a great shelf life. You can just store it in your pantry, in a jar, and use it as you will. You don't have to refrigerate it. You can refrigerate it, but you don't have to. And it tastes great. It tastes great on food. Cook eggs with it. Anything really that you would use like a fat for. So anyway, so I'm gonna continue doing this 4 pound of butter, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Well, I must have got it wrong. That's a 2-quart pot. Sorry about that. But anyway, you can see 4 pound of butter in there. I've just started to, it's melting down now, low heat. And you want to bring this up to where it just starts to boil, and then lower the heat right down and just simmer it. So anyway, start off on a low heat and get it all melted, and then we'll start the process. Also, I suggest when you are doing this, your house is going to smell of buttery popcorn, so I would suggest just cracking a window open. So as you can see now, some of the milk products are starting to froth to the top. It's just starting to begin to boil, and these are the milk products that we're going to be removing from the butter fat. Anyway, I'll come back in a minute and show you how that's done. After a few minutes, and as it comes to the boil, you can see that it's very frothy now on top. So when it gets to this point, lower the heat to a very low simmer. You see it's just barely on. You don't want it to cook, you just want it to float those milk solids up to the top of the surface so you can scrape them off. So when it's got to this point, we're going to start scraping off some of this foam and putting it into a bowl, and we're going to scrape it off. You can still see the stuff that is underneath is starting to come to the top. Don't worry you're wasting a bit of butter. You will waste a little bit here, but you basically got to get all those milk solids off. And you're going to do this probably every 10 minutes or so. So you may want to set a timer for 10 minutes and then come back when it's all done. So okay, that should be good for now. So after 10 minutes, you see we've got that froth formed up on the top again, and we're gonna just scrape that off, put it in a bowl, just let it run for another 10 minutes. As you can see, even though I'm scraping it, more and more is coming to the surface, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to be, again, you don't want to be burning the oil or the fat. You don't want to burn the fat. You just want all those milk solids to rise to the surface. So this is another 10 minutes later, as you can see, those milk solids have floated to the top. It may be going a bit fierce here, so just lower that down a little bit. You just want to see it just bubbling away, and just keep scraping those off. Just scrape across the surface. Don't take too much of the liquid, but take all the solid products out, the milk products. There you go, you can see we're getting quite a collection now. So now it's another 10 minutes, and again we're scooping off those milk product solids. And we're going to keep doing this until we get hardly any more froth, and it's going to be a few times. It sometimes takes over an hour. It may take over an hour with 4 pounds of butter starting off with. I usually do about 2 or 3 pounds, but and that takes at least 50 minutes. So anyway, we'll come back in another 10 minutes. Now this is a couple of times more after I've scraped it off a few more times. You can see how much stuff I've collected, how much milk products I've collected. And as you can see, it's starting to clear up now. So there's probably 2 more times out of this we can scrape off the solids, and then we'll start decanting it into the jars. And saying that, now's a good time when that happens to get your jars nice and clean, rinsed out and dry, ready to decant the butter fat or ghee, as it is now, into the jars. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, as you can see, this is getting really close to being finished. The solids now stop coming up from the bottom. Just a few little tiny ones. I'm going to scrape this last piece off, and then we're going to decant this into the glass jars. Decant the ghee into the glass jars. So now we're going to decant it into these glass jars, and as you can see, I've put a piece of cheesecloth over the top, and that's just to make sure that we don't get any unnecessary solids going into the liquid itself. So just gently drip that on top. And it's only 2 layers of cheesecloth, so it's not going to stop it coming through. You see there's a few solids still left in it, but the cheesecloth's going to stop it. And I suggest you put a baking tray underneath this, because this can get very messy. Keep filling it up nice and gently. A little bit more. Okay. So now we go to the next one. We can reuse the same cheesecloth. As you can see, this is a nice clear liquid. Well, it looks a little bit opaque now, but believe me, that's nice and clear. No solids in it whatsoever. And after all of that simmering, scraping of the milk solids, and finally filtering through a cheesecloth, here's the resulting ghee. And it's great stuff. It has a very long shelf life. You don't have to refrigerate it. I store it in the basement in a cool area in our water room, just to keep it cool. But yeah, it's great for keto diet. It's great for taking camping when you don't have much refrigeration. You don't have to worry about it. Tastes delicious, and it's good for you by all accounts. So anyway, so if you liked my little video on making ghee, follow along on some of my other videos, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.